now you should be able to hear me. So let's try that again. Welcome everybody. It is Thursday night. We are Assetto Corsairing once again, a third time lucky. We did have some issues specifically around the servers down last week. The week before that there was an update which completely ruined the game, so to say. But we are back. We did a little bit of a practice session over the weekend, and the servers seem to have held up nicely. What we're going to be doing is jumping into the alpha tier. They're going to be starting first this evening. 15 drivers, it looks like, if I can see that correctly, it looks like about 15 drivers, sorry, excluding me, so about 14 drivers in the first race. The format for this evening, a 45-minute race with a mandatory pit stop. Guys, and we do have CT Auto Electrical that have joined us once again as the sponsor for the season. We will definitely try and get Craig up and joining us next week. He's just been flat out at work, and we do appreciate his efforts, so thank you very much. We're just going to jump back into the view just to make sure that everything is working. So guys, we're just going to not get that screen up. That's not the one that I wanted. That's the one that I wanted, so at least you can hear me in the background. I'm just going to make sure that that lobby is ready to go, because as you know is that if I am in the... So I see they've got 1 minute 52 left. So a total of 14 drivers. Those drivers will be Jakes, Ryan, then we've got Shane, Duppy, Ronaldo, Pete, Dion, that's sorry, so we've got Ryan Edwards, then we've got Flip van Sale, Janneman, who we know him as Greg, and then we have Ashley, Brett, then we have AD Alexander, who's actually Connor, and then Jason. So I see that they have gone in for the qualifying, so I'll now be able to exit out of the screen, jump into the senior I'm reading Senior Ghost, Ethan's name there, jump into the screen where we're able to see what is happening, and then at least we all get some of that qualifying together. So the guys, for racing in the Bravo tier, don't forget your server will be reset at 8:30, which will give you time to go in, get that 25-minute practice in, and then we will change over as soon as the alpha tier is done. So guys, if there are any of the Bravo tier guys that are going to be racing a bit later, remember the Discord chat is open. We do welcome visitors up in the commentary box. So now while we're loading in, I can change that screen. There we go. So we will be racing at Silverstone. The weather has been set to some possible rain, and we've seen over the couple of weeks that the rain has been getting a little bit less and less. Why? I'm pretty sure I didn't push drive and I pushed the little up arrow. So it's just all part of the fun, guys. Just going to jump back in there. So we did see a post that came up saying that Kunos have hit the 100 million pound mark. Guys, for that amount of money, you should be able to fix the game on PlayStation. Please, 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 please. Looking at the Facebook page, I've got Steven. You're saying good luck, boys. Reeve, he's there. He's saying no sound. Hopefully you can hear me now. Rudy's also saying no sound. And Ethan, he's saying, oh yes. So guys, unfortunately we are going to just probably get the last 5 minutes of that qualifying, but at least we'll just get a sense of how the guys are doing, whether it's raining or not, because we know that specifically the weather patterns, they do change, and it changes from server to server. It all depends on what kind of progression has been put up, and we do try to put it up to 3 just so that there is some sort of unpredictability, so we know that it could possibly rain, but whether it rains or not, that we only know on the day itself. There we go. So currently we have only 6 minutes left of the 10-minute qualifying, so the guys are definitely under pressure to get those times in very quickly, and understanding that it is just over a 2-minute time to get in. Looking at the cloud cover, it looks like it's going to be partly cloudy. So far in qualifying, which is essentially set on a Saturday, no rain predicted for the qualifying, but it all depends on what is in store when we get to the race, which is essentially set on a Sunday. So as you can see, 14 drivers, and so far Shane, he's the quickest. We then have Flip van Sail, that is apologies, there goes AD. Connor, fix your name please, I'm so used to just saying AD. So Dion van Heerden, he is currently the fastest on track, getting a 2-minute 1.45, and then it is Shane, Connor, then Greg has put up a time 1.1 minutes seconds, apologies, off Dion's time. We then have Ronaldo, Pete, Jakes, Ryan, Duppy, Sarge, Ashley, Brett, all the way from Australia, and then we've got Ashley, who's now moved up. I'm a little bit confused there. Brett, 14th place, as mentioned, from Australia. Really great to see that we are racing from different continents. We'll just need to see whether we've got Toko, who's racing from Toronto in Canada. He has entered the season, but I'm pretty sure with all the issues that we have, I just wonder whether some of that momentum has not been lost. So for some of the drivers, Dion van Heerden is, when he raced in the Bravateer previously, he's currently driving in the Lexus. We didn't quite remember what car that he drove, but definitely out of that comfort zone, a lot of these drivers. And I'm seeing that we don't have Morris in the lobby, so Morris, not quite sure where you are, but you should definitely be here, unless that the guys are plagued with some load shedding. What we are going to be doing is we had to reduce the championship down to a 7-race championship, but with the load shedding, what we are doing is only your top 6 races will count. Your lowest result out of the championship will drop. So we have a 7-race, 6-race point count. We have done that in the past, but once we got back into the COVID scenario and the guys were able to race week on week, we then just went to count every single race point. But I do think that now that we're back under load shedding conditions, is that dropping one of those points definitely won't hurt anybody. So currently fastest on track, Dion van Heerden. Cameraman Tim is a little bit asleep there, but there he is, Dion in that Lexus. I can see him now coming back onto the hangar straight. One of my favorite tracks, I should say, just in terms of the flow and how the track sits together. If you joined us on Monday evening, you'll see that we raced the international track a lot shorter, but definitely added a lot of fun. Looking through the comments, we see Scott Hardeman. He's joined us. He's saying evening Scott. Thank you so much for joining us on the stream. And then we see Sean Prinsloo. He's saying, hi everyone, I've been looking forward to this for a while now. Good luck to all the drivers. Enjoy. Sean, thank you so much. Yes, we also hope that everything goes according to plan. And we're able to bring this extremely interesting, close racing here from SARCO on the Assetto Corsa game on the PlayStation 4 console. So I have to just give a quick shout out. So guys, if you do want to give a shout out, drop those messages out on the Discord. Listen to me, onto either the Facebook chat or the YouTube chat. I know that my wife and son are watching probably off the tablet in bed. So hello my chérie, hello my chase. We need to get you racing with us soon, my boy. So 1 minute left of qualifying, and what will essentially happen is when I exit, the game will crash and we'll just have to restart, but we will be able to catch the guys on their rolling start for round number 1 of our Japanese tour. And the reason we've called it Japanese tour is that every single driver has to have a Japanese car, which has definitely taken a lot of them out of their comfort zone and forced them to drive specific cars. You can see a very, very SARCO inspired car number. I keep forgetting I need to change the cameras. By Sly Pete there. Very, very nice colors there, Pete. So Pete Racing 4. Oh, there we go. So now I am able to exit. So guys, I am still here. I've just brought up the screen so that you don't have to sit and watch the blue screen happening while it currently resets. So I did get the message from my wife saying that they can't hear me, but guys, now I'm still getting a bit anxious here. I'm just hoping that you are able to hear me. I can't see that my microphone is blipping there, so just drop me a message saying yes or we can hear you. That would be absolutely fantastic. Okay guys, the game has restarted. Thank you, Sean. Just given that confirmation that the sound is coming through on YouTube, all is fine, as well as Theo. Thank you very much, Theo. We're really looking forward to seeing you racing a little bit later, as well as Marshall racing for the Chasing Beavers. Okay, everyone, just rejoining into the race. Just checking the time, 15 minutes to go to the Bravo tier, and we will be resetting that server for you. So how's that for timing, guys? We have just joined the rolling start as all 14 of the drivers, they approach out of Woodcote, turn number 20. They will be in a rolling start as they cross the line. That is green light, and we are officially racing. Third time lucky. And I'm not able to change the cameras. So it does look like everybody is clear through Maggots and Beckett's. We'll just get a shot as they come down Chapel. Or driver running himself a little bit wide. Guys, I will exit once we just make sure that there isn't any chaos that's happened. And we will be able to get back in. So I apologize, guys. But it should have allowed me to control the cameras, which it hasn't. And as you can see, I'm not able to change any views. And I can't even tell you who those drivers are that are battling with each other now. So far so good. I'm not seeing any contact, which is really, really awesome to see. As the guys come through Club, they now go through Abbey, the car bouncing off those bumps there, and then harder to the brakes, turn number 14. And it was at this point where we were turning to 15, but then go straight back and join at Chapel, and then back onto the start. A little bit slower there for that driver coming out of the corner. So guys, I'm going to just cut it here quickly, going to exit, and then let's get the camera back up. So to the Bravo tier, guys, 12 minutes and your server will be reset. So I do have the black Assetto Corsa Competizione screen loading up on my secondary screen. And I must say, a really, really good clean start for all the drivers. One driver running himself just a little bit wide, but was able to rejoin without any issues. Just putting in the password. Password has been accepted, and we are now officially loading in. So stay away from drive. So there we go, guys. That was the view I'm looking for. So currently we've got Jason out in front with Dion van Heerden in second place, followed by the Green Mamba with Jakes. So that is your battle for first, second, third, fourth and fifth, with Ronaldo up into fourth place, with Greg in fifth, Ryan Edwards, he's in sixth place. Then Connor, he was quite high up in the qualifying, he's down in seventh place, with Ashley in eighth. Flip Van Sale, that's very surprising to see him down in 9th place. Shane is in 10th, with Brett 11th, Pete in 12th place, Duppy down in 13th, and then Ryan, he's in 14th position. So those SARCO inspired colors, that is Connor, who's driving in that number 1 Honda. And I know that we had some conversations about which is the better car. Just seen that Ronaldo's putting a lot of pressure on the back of Jake's. I do see that Gerard, he's joined us on the stream. So Gerard, unfortunately, not racing this evening, but that's because Gerard has got a brand new baby boy in the house. So understand that his priorities are definitely elsewhere. But Gerard, congratulations from all of us at SARCO, and it's always great to see the community growing. So interestingly enough, as I see that Ryan Abrams, he's gone into the pits, so you can see that little green tag. Is that, Jake's having a look to the inside on himself and Johan. That Alexis just struggling through the turn at number 18 there. Apologies, turn 17. Now they're on turn number 18, and they've got Ronaldo right up behind Jake. So he'll now look to the inside. Whether he'll attack that move or not, we'll have to wait and see. But you can see how close these three are. And out in front, Jason starting to open up a little gap there, 2.6 seconds. And Ronaldo right on the tail of Jake's. Cameraman Tim, that's not the person we wanted to see. Thank you very much. So now heading down this hangar straight. Will there be a overtake there from Jake's? You can see 0.6. So they're going to be side by side as they go through Stowe. Jake's has to let Dion go through. Understanding that Dion was in the Bravo tier last season. Dion now very defensive now through the Vale. He'll now go through turn number 10. Now exit, a little bit wide there for Ronaldo, but that shouldn't give him too much of a problem or any sort of time penalty. Just want to jump down quickly because we've got Sly Pete starting to close up a little bit there on the back of Brett. See half a second there. And in the background we've got Duppy, and he too has joined the party. Side by side is Pete. He just let Brett go through. That was very close. And that's going to allow Duppy to get even closer now as they now head up towards turn number 14 and enter into the arena. Let's just jump back to that battle up in front. Well, essentially a second, third and fourth place. We'll just need to see if Ryan's strategy of going to the pits this early is something that's going to pay off. Very tight up through turn number 20. They're going to cross the start-finish line, and Ronaldo looking for an opportunity to try and get around Jake's. Jake's driving for the Green Mambas in the new livery. I must still try and find what has happened to Jake's teammate. That was Marius. So Jason definitely in control here. He's starting to open up a gap. That's 3.3 seconds is the lead that Jason now has over the second place Dion van Heerden. As I mentioned earlier, that Dion came from the Bravo tier. He joined us last season and qualified himself right at the top. And he's definitely come here to show the Alpha tier what he is made of. So the gap starting to form further down in the field. And Sly Pete still trying to find a way around Brett. And that is the GTR versus the Honda. We understand that the Honda does take a little bit of time to get together, but I must say that when I drove it, it definitely has some of those Porsche characteristics, is that you're able to use the gears to help rotate the car. The mid-engine definitely doesn't react quite like the Porsche does, but there are just those few nuances, and you're able to drive the Honda as if you were driving a Porsche. So looks like Pete got a nice tight line there through turn number 14. That's going to set him up nicely for 15. right on the tail as they go through turn 16, and you should be able to get a nice tow down towards Brooklands. And you can see how close those Hondas are to the GTR going into Brooklands. Nice and tight on the inside, going back down to second gear, then all the way down to first, getting that car to rotate, squeezing that power, letting the traction control do its work, and then get your exit out through turn number 19, through Woodcote, and then down out of turn 20 and across the line. So just about 10 minutes have passed, and just remember, we have extended the race just by 5 minutes because we understand what those extra 5 minutes can do to your tyre life. Seeing that Ash, he's also now gone into the pits, so he's taken an early pit stop there as well. And it does seem like Ronaldo's just dropping back ever so slightly, but that is Jason, Dion, Jakes, Ronaldo, and then the background is Greg racing for Sim Stuff Racing. And cameraman Tim, what are you doing? There's Greg there in the Lexus, knowing that Greg did come from driving a Porsche now to a front engine car, and he did say that it has been quite a change adapting driving styles coming from the Porsche to the Lexus. So there's still this heated battle between Brett, Pete and Duppy. It is saying that Duppy is 0.2 of a second behind. I'm not sure whether he's just dropped back. There we see him now as they've crossed the timing. The timing is that he is a little bit further back now, so not quite as close as he was a couple of laps earlier. You can see Brett taking a much tighter line going into Brooklands, when Peter takes a much later entry, which then allows him to set himself up for Brooklands. A much wider line there for Pete on the exit, and that's hoping to get as much straight line speed coming through turn number 20, and hopefully to be able to make a pass through Cops. But a very, very tricky corner is that it is always tightening up on you, and the speed that you carry through there is absolutely phenomenal. So Jakes and Dion, you can see just about side by side. So Jakes is now on the outside, going into the Vale, so he will need to let Dion go through. But Dion 2.3 seconds behind Jason now, so I'm not sure whether this group has closed up on Jason or whether he's just starting to make a few little mistakes. But that is how close the first 5 drivers are. So we've got 2, 5, 6, so just about 6.5 seconds is separating the first 5 drivers. At this stage, with neither of them having pitted, is that it's still anybody's race here. So to the privateer, your server will be reset. Stand by. Just gonna drop the message. Bravo server has now been reset, and unfortunately, no. I thought that Dion was dropping down. I was trying to find his name. I didn't realize that. Yes, Dion has dropped down, because that is the Nissan, ahead of the Lexus. So Jakes has moved himself up into second place. There's confirmation of it. So Dion now down into third place, and Jakes for the Green Mumbas, he is up into second. So now the question is, will he have enough legs to chase down the Honda in front and start closing down on Jason? Hi there, Eugene Hendricks. He's put in a little smiley face there for us. Eugene, welcome. Hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. And man, oh man, how close is that battle? Because just behind, I think that is actually down in fourth place, because there were 6 cars there, but only 5 that were within enough time, or short enough time to do the racing there. Just love that sound of that GTR gearing down as Jakes leads Dion van Heerden. But now Greg, he is starting to close up on the back of Ronaldo. So will he be able to force that Nissan into a mistake and get his Lexus up into fourth place? So guys, if you have just joined us, this is the third attempt that we had to start the series. After the updates 2 weeks ago, the game completely crashed. We had no servers. We then tried to run a race the following week, and once again the servers just too unstable and landed up just disconnecting and kicking everybody else. So we see Paul Fenter, he's joined us. He's saying let's go Bad Bull. Unfortunately, Paul just missing the race, that he did have other priorities. But here he is supporting some of his drivers, supporting Brett, who's essentially, I'd say, part of his development team. Would that be right to say so, Paul? And man, oh man, am I extremely surprised. Great to see that this battle between the two Hondas and Brett in the Nissan is still going on. So we've got a Sly Pete and Duppy really battling it out. Stephen Smith saying, go Jason, kick some. I don't know if that's coconuts or not, Stephen. So there's Paul Fenter agreeing with my statement that yes, Brett is his development driver. So as long as it wasn't seen as an insult, all good. So that gap out in front, Jason is probably starting to feel the pressure, because he has a, how is that, 3 different manufacturers in the top 3. Who says that this championship would not be exciting? It is Honda, Nissan, Lexus, Honda, Lexus, Honda, Nissan, Honda. Then 3 Nissans down later to go. Stephen, you're right. Go kick some ass. Jason, that was the message from Stephen. It did go through our coconuts filter, and it does seem like it is all good. So with Ronaldo choosing to go into the pits, just trying to see where he is. So there's Ronaldo. Here's further down. Stop and go penalty, 30 seconds for Connor. So with him having pitted, him being up, that's definitely going to cost him. Ronaldo is in 11th place. Just want to see where he is on track. So he is in a little bit of clean air, and that's what he's going to need specifically for this pit, is be able to, if he can get himself ahead of Connor. So Connor still needs to serve that 30-second stop and go penalty, which means that technically Ronaldo is the fastest of the non-pitting, or the drivers that have already pitted, of the drivers who have already pitted. So that there, ladies and gentlemen, is the battle for first, second and third place. Jason in the Honda. As mentioned before, Jason has been, I'd say, in the SARCO community for a couple of years now. Hasn't really raced with us, but here he is showing that he should have been racing a long time ago, really bringing it to the Alpha Tier guys. Understanding that we have 24 minutes left. There are 4 drivers that have already pitted, and Jake's Dion really trying to close down the likes of Jason as the drivers now exit onto the hangar straight. I just wish that we could see what the lap times were that they were doing. So see Greg Thompson, he's joined us. I always get the East London PE mixed up, so I won't insult where you're from, Greg, but I know that you're near where Ashley is. He's saying come on Connor, and yes, between Ashley, Greg and Craig, it's about time that Connor gets his own name and stops driving under AD's one. Eugene Hendricks, he's saying go coconuts. Yes indeed. So dropping down to this battle for 7th, 8th and 9th place, and these 3 are still inseparable. Oh, that was very, very close. Duppy on the back of Sly Pete there. But absolutely incredible to see how close the guys are driving together, yet no contact is being made. And I see that teammate to Dion van Heerden, that is Flip van Zyl, he's up into 5th place. So I don't know whether the pit stops have changed that. We can see that stop and go now has been cleared. So that means that Connor, as you can see here, is behind Ronaldo. So Flip van Zyl up into 5th. Sarge has had a relatively quiet race. In 6th, he is 7 seconds behind. Thank you, Jeff. The comment coming through saying we are halfway through. So 7 seconds behind Flip van Zyl. And then here's 13 seconds ahead of this incredible battle that is currently going on. And it looks like Duppy and both Pete's have managed to get themselves ahead of Brett, because we've got Pete in camera. But not only that, but Duppy, he's got himself ahead of Sly Pete as well. Okay, so that makes sense. So Brett decided it is now time to go into the pits. So he will be pitting. And I'm seeing that it looks like Jason has now got his head down. 2 seconds is the gap between himself and Jake's. Dion van Heerden, he's also now dropping back. And we have Greg, who is 6 seconds further down the road. So we'll have to see what happens once those pit stops start coming into effect with the guys higher up the order. So the top 9 drivers still need to pit, and we just know exactly what happens once the drivers start pitting. It changes up the order, different strategies, have the guys hit that mark perfectly, because all of those things make or break essentially your evening or your race. I'm just dropping to see Ronaldo. As you look on that little map, there is miles and miles of road for him to catch up to Pete, who is ahead of him. But all of that will be changing once they start getting those pits in. Now we see Dion 3.7 seconds behind Jakes. So I'm not sure whether he's starting to pick up some issues with the tires, just over driving or possibly making just a few mistakes, but definitely not putting as much pressure as he was earlier on in this race. The one thing I have not mentioned is it looks like the rain gods have been very, very kind. There were so many race sessions where the race was absolutely flooded, to having just a little bit of a drizzle in the qualifying, all the way to the race being and the track being completely flooded, to having just about overcast conditions and the guys racing in clear skies. So absolutely incredible that that has happened, and I'm pretty sure the guys are happy about that, because it just was so tricky to drive in those very wet conditions. So guys, we have 18 minutes left of this race. We will get the top three drivers. You can see Jake's taking a lot of that inside curb, with him going up through turn number 4, and then just touching that inside curb through Beckett's, then out through Chapel along the Hanger Straight, and there's Dion van Heerden just behind him. 4.5 seconds is that gap now, so it does look like Dion's pace is just dropping off ever so slightly. So it is Ashley who's currently in between the likes of Jakes and Dion. Ashley currently circulating down in 12th place, though it is not Ashley. So who is that driver? That is 619. Maybe it is Ryan. So there is Ryan Abrams. Understanding we have two Ryans. Ryan Abrams currently being who's in shot, and then we have Ryan Edwards, who's Sarge down in 6th place. So it does seem like we have lost a driver. So I'm not sure, guys, if you are watching on the stream, if you were able to catch who that was. So 16 minutes left. So guys, I'm just running through the list. It looks like we have lost Shane. So I'm not sure what has happened, but yeah, Shane is not in the race anymore. Jason opening that gap, and Dion van Heerden, he's decided to go into the pits, which now gets Greg up into 3rd place. But as I was mentioned, our race leader 3.8 seconds ahead of the 2nd place Jakes. There we see Jakes now. So an absolutely a sterling drive there for him. So there we see Dion now starting to drop it down the order, but he has only lost 3 places in that pit, so you can see that he is ahead of Ronaldo. So here comes Ronaldo through Maggots and Beckett's, and Dion is just about at the end. There we go, of the Hanger Straight, but he's definitely further down the road there. So 14.5 minutes left of this Alpha tier, and it does seem like the server guards have been with us, and I hope I haven't commentated cursed myself, if that is a thing. So cameraman Tim getting that all wrong, trying to find Jake's. And there we have the shot of Jake's now on the Hanger Straight. And it does seem like Duppy's been able to open up a comfortable lead between himself and Sly Pete. So still, interestingly enough, is that we have 3 manufacturers in 1st, 2nd and 3rd place. So this is probably one of the most important parts of the race, is once the pit stop strategies have been done, where do all the drivers eventually settle? And we've seen it time and time again. Once those pit stops are done, how close the drivers generally are, and I'm pretty sure we could expect to have a very, very close dash to the end in those last couple of 10 minutes or so. So it's actually quite interesting is looking at Flip van Sale, who's in the Lexus, another driver who came from the Porsche and is now driving in a front engine car. Also saying a very, very different driving style. You're not able to use the gear down to help rotate that car. By doing that, all what seems to happen is just that the car understeers. Oh, it looks like Jakes has made a mistake, because Jakes is in the pit, so maybe it wasn't a mistake. But I saw a 13-second difference there. So I'm pretty sure that we'll start seeing Jakes now slip down the order. So yeah. Flip will definitely be ahead of him as well once they go past the timing, as possibly Sarge. No, so Sarge will be behind him. Because there's Sarge now coming down the Hanger Straight, and Jakes is already going through Stowe. So Orion getting out of the way there, making sure that he doesn't hold up Jakes, who essentially is in 4th position. So great awareness there from Ryan. So 16 seconds is the gap between Greg and Jason. Just want to see what the lap time difference is there. So that's 13, so that's 29 seconds between Jakes and Jason, who is out in front. And Stephen, you are 100% correct. It's essentially Jason's debut race here at SARCO. We'll see Connor taking the little runoff there, so he looks like he's now made a mistake going through cops. So Jason's debut Assetto Corsa race here with us at SARCO, and he is poised to win it. You can see some of the black lines from the drivers braking hard going into Stowe, getting a little bit of a lockup, turning the car in, and once that inside wheel lifts just enough to stop having the grip, which is helping that braking, it generally just locks up and then it creates that little black line. So Dion is 10 seconds behind Jakes. Just over 9 minutes left of the race, and still overcast conditions with optimum track weather, and we have what's that, 8 minutes to go before the guys in the Bravo tier will start their qualifying. So it looks like stop and go penalty for car number 7. So that is Ryan, who was speeding, so he's going to have to go back into the pits and serve a 30-second stop and go penalty. So that could possibly, that will drop him down behind Ronaldo, but not necessarily behind Dupi. So 11 seconds is the gap between Jakes and Dion, and 13 seconds between Jakes and Flip. Ooh, a little bit of a curb there for Dion as he exits out of turn number 15. So the driver's running a very wide, coming through cops there. So just want to see whether, oh, Sarge is on the outside, touching the curb on the brakes. So that's going to allow Dupi to go through. So there Dupi now moves himself up into 8th place. So big mistake there by Sarge. And he still needs to serve that 30-second stop and go penalty, and I'm pretty sure that that is now going to drop him even further down the order. So 42.783 seconds, how's that for quick math, is the distance between Jakes and Jason out in front. The question is, when is Jason going to pit? Is he going to leave it right to the end? Does he even know that he needs to pit is the next question. So I'll drop that question to Stephen. Does he know he needs to pit? So Sarge is in the pit serving that 30-second stop and go. So now he'll be stopped for 30 seconds. I'm pretty sure that's going to feel like an eternity. So Pete would overtake him, Connor, who's currently in shot, would overtake him, and even possibly Ashley. So Flip Van Zyl currently in 2nd place. It's going to be really interesting to see where he's going to come out as he now turns into the pit lane. You can see 2 other cars in the pits. The one is Jason, who's now just gone in. Where is Jakes? So Jakes, it looks like he's going to cross the start-finish line as Jason is now starting to exit. Has Jakes now moved himself up into 1st place? It does look like it, as Jakes gets himself through a maggot and Jason is only approaching Maggots. So it has been in the pit stops that Jakes has been able to get in and out faster than the race leader, which now has put Jakes out in front. And here comes Flip Van Zyl. He's exiting out of the pits. So there's a confirmation, Jakes out in front, and Jason starting to possibly wonder how he lost all that time. You can see 8 seconds is the difference now. Jason needing to close up. Dion van Heerden 7.9 seconds behind in third place, with Flip Van Zyl. An amazing drive for him. He managed to work his way through the field, having started pretty low down, and how he's finding himself up into fourth place. An absolute great result for the two teammates, Dion and Flip Van Zyl. So Ronaldo down in sixth place. There was a time where he was fighting with the likes of Jakes out at the top there. So interesting to see him now further down the field. But a great result here for Ronaldo. Another great drive for Greg from Sim Stuff Racing. He's got himself into fifth. And Duppy battling it out between himself and Sly Pete, not to mention the battle that they were fighting up against Brett. Connor down in ninth place, a great qualifier for him, but unfortunately just not able to get as once again he makes a little mistake there going through Cops. Apologies, that was through Stowe. The rear just let go on him as he got back onto that power. So Jason is absolutely flying, trying to close down on the back of Jakes. That gap was 8 seconds, if you remember. It's now was 6.9, which means that he has been able to find another second on Jakes. So just ahead of Jason. Didn't quite see the number there. So that is number 7. So that is Sarge. You'll see him just get out the way there. So good awareness, knowing that the Foster car is there behind him. So the closest battle currently is Greg trying to chase down Flip Van Zyl. 2.2 seconds is the gap there. Which I do believe would be a lot less, because we can just about see both Flip and Greg in the same frame now. So 6.7 seconds is the difference between Jakes and Jason. So as you heard that this is now the final lap. So guys, we will go into the driver interviews directly after this, and hopefully by the time the driver interviews are done, we will be able to catch the end part of the qualifying for the Bravo tier. But guys, let us know what you've thought about this race, what you've thought about just the quality of driving that we have seen here this evening. It's been absolutely fantastic watching it from my side, that's for sure. So you can see 1 second is the gap, and these guys are now on their last lap. So Greg is going to be fighting with all his might. Took a lot of curb there going into turn number 2. It's generally not a place that you want to be taking the curb. You generally would take it through Maggots on turn number 3. But an interesting light there. Looked like it might have actually worked there for Greg, because now just under half a second is the gap between Greg and Flip. So just checking where Jake's is. So he's now going through turn number 14. So we are able to jump back and check the battle here for the 4th and 5th place on the podium. So Jake's will be heading down Brooklands currently. And Jason has been able to close up some time there. So 4.3 seconds is the gap there. But is it just a little too late? As Jake's now exits out of turn number 20, he will cross the line in first place. An extremely interesting race there. It looked like Jason had this one in the bag, but unfortunately it did succumb to the green Mamba being able to leapfrog him in the pits. Dion van Heerden will take home a 3rd place here in his first race in the Alpha tier. Then we'll have his teammate Flip van Zyl crossing the line in 4th place with Greg. A great effort there for him in 5th. Ronaldo currently in 6th place. I'm pretty sure that is where he ends as he exits out of the last corner. So a great result there for him. Duppy fighting with Brett and Sly Pete in the early parts of the race. Absolutely a great effort there for him. Duppy comes home in 7th place with Sly Pete. Coming through Brooklands now through Luffield. He'll exit out of turn number 19, currently in 8th place. Then Connor a couple of seconds behind him, so he too now will exit out of the last corner. 9th place for him. Ashley in 10th place. There's Brett from Australia in 11th position, and as mentioned, the development driver. Lights flashing there for us, Brett, thank you so much. Ryan in 12th place, who's already in the pits, and then Ryan Abrams looks like he is taking the slow route in, going over the line there. So guys, thank you very much. We're going to be exiting out of the game, and then just going into, unless he's run out of fuel. If he's run out of fuel, he will not be classified. So there we go. That is the final results, and we did see that Shane unfortunately is out. So we're just going to get the drivers into the lobby for the drivers brief interviews, and then we're just going to jump into the Bravo tier.
Daryl, can you hear me?
So how's it, gentlemen? We are currently live. We just got to get Jason into the Discord. I don't know if Jakes, if you could just drop Jason a message to say, come on, we want to talk to you. So while you're able to do that, let's jump to Dion. Dion, a great qualifying there for you, but a much more trickier lobby compared to the Bravo tier.
Yeah, well done, Jake.
Thanks, man.
It's a fight there, yes, I sort of felt when I didn't get the pole, I sort of felt things are not going to go my way, and then I just battled with front left tire temps and understeer the last stint. So yeah, I just battled with pace, but still an okay result.
Yeah, so we definitely did see that like later on in the session is that you were right there behind Jakes, challenging him just about to the end. But as soon as I went to that last 12 minutes or so, you could just see that you just started losing just a little bit of that pace. So we were actually interested to see what had happened there.
Yeah, no, I was running very, very high temps and the car was just understeering. Unlike anything I've, practicing all along, it was completely different. So, I battled to keep up with the two J's tonight.
Well, listen, for your first race in the Alpha tier, an absolutely great result, a third place there for you. Then,
well done, Dion.
Then, Jason, let's go to you. A superb drive out in front, just managing that gap between yourself and Jakes, going into the pits, and that seems to where the whole race changed for you.
Yeah, I was a bit too cautious going into the pit. I saw a lot of people getting penalties for speeding in the pits. So when I joined the pits, I slowed down a bit too quick, and I wasn't sure if my pit limiter was on. So I so it was a bit, I messed up in the pit lane there.
Well, nevertheless, Jason, an absolute superb drive, and I'm pretty sure that some of the Project Wetcat Racing drivers who are watching are definitely know that there are some new kids on the block out to challenge them. So absolutely fantastic. And your debut race, and you find yourself on the podium. I'm pretty sure you're happy with that result.
Yeah, I actually didn't expect to be so quick. I saw Dion was quite quick in actually last week's qualifying, so I actually expected a bigger race from him. And it's a pity Jar couldn't race, because I think it would have been a close race in the front.
Without a doubt. Let's go to you, my Jakes. Green Mambas on the podium. 3 different manufacturers, however, on the podium. How do you like that for a close series?
Oh, that is fantastic, man. Just to see that. I thought when I saw the qualifying that the Nissans is going to get a bit of uphill there, but and the preparation on my side wasn't done very well. I didn't expect anything from tonight. I was actually very surprised about the third place qualifying that I got. But man, this Dion and Jason is so fast. I am sweating. And I couldn't catch Jason at all. I managed to get past Dion. He made a little mistake on the first corner in the middle of the race, and I managed to overtake him. And very well done there, Dion. We could have had an accident there, but you slowed down. I wasn't gonna stop, so luckily you stopped. And well raced there. And the only way I knew that I could get Jason was in a pit stop. I couldn't catch him otherwise. I had to make the perfect pit stop, and I did make the perfect pit stop. And when Jason went in and when he came out, he was 8 seconds behind me, and I was quite surprised about that huge gap. So I don't know what went wrong there. But anyway, well done to these 2 guys. First time in Alpha tier, and they definitely belong here. They definitely belong here.
No, 100%, Jakes. I couldn't have sent it any differently. So thank you very much, guys. We're just going to jump back now into the Bravo tier and see whether we can catch the end of that qualifying. But great racing, absolutely awesome to watch. Thank you very much for a great show.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Okay, cheers, man.
Cheers, guys.
Right, guys, we are jumping into the lobby. I have gone in as a driver, just so that the game doesn't crash. And then hopefully what will happen... there we go. So we've just caught the end of qualifying. And we've got a Chappie RSA who's currently at top of the standings there. So Chappie RSA is Sheldon, a new driver that has joined us this season. Great to see him up there. We have Theo 0.1 behind him. Theo has been with us racing before, so really good to see him back. Then we got Rodrigo, another new driver with us. You can see in third place there for him. Then Stephen, Reeve in fifth place. We've got Irish Dawn, another new driver that's joined us. That is Jean. Then we got Senior Ghost, Ethan. Ethan raced with us last season. Then we all know Marshall, he's racing this evening. And then Tyler Scott. Tyler having raced with us since the beginning of COVID. So that is the end of the qualifying. So glad that we're able to have caught that. Haro Masenki, my brother, has officially joined us on Facebook. Masenki, very lekker to see you racing, and I keep telling you, you need to come get yourself racing, buy a rig. I know a lighty is important, but the lighty will always be there, but come racing with us.
Well, hello Dylan, can you hear me?
Look at that. Co-commentator Ashley has jumped into the chat with me. Ashley, how are you?
I'm pretty good, a bit sweaty after that race. It was a quite intense race, I must admit. It was a lot harder than I thought, but I was quite happy with my pace, so it gives me a little bit of hope for the next race.
No, 100%. That extra 5 minutes, does it make a huge difference, just in terms of in terms of the concentration?
I think that was the first race I've actually officially completed in this Assetto course. The rest I don't seem to last longer than 20 minutes. So I was quite chuffed for myself. I made one silly mistake, and I think it was Shane who was behind me that followed me onto the grass. So. Sorry, Shane, if I threw you off there, but nevertheless, I felt it was a good recovery, and I actually really enjoyed the race. It was actually, the car handled so much better than what I expected, and and enjoying the Nissan GTR.
Nice, and just your thoughts, 3 different manufacturers on the podium?
Well, it just shows you, Dylan. It doesn't really matter what car you drive, as long as you get the setup. I think that's the key, and I think these guys have had a pretty long time.
Well,
to
listen, exactly.
Yeah.
This is our 3rd week that we've now successfully completed a race.
Yeah. So I'm quite excited for the rest of the season. I think it's going to be a close battle with all 3 manufacturers, and I think the different tracks might suit some the cars better to others, but yeah, definitely the fastest doesn't win, and we saw that tonight.
And that is definitely one of our SARCO mantras, is that the fastest doesn't always win. So guys, we are officially racing, and we have Sheldon, new driver, that has joined us out in front. There is a Chappie RSA. Camera momentum, just push the button next time. Then Rodrigo, and it's quite weird that Rodrigo's actually in the Discord with us, so I'm not sure how he's listening to us commentate while driving through the Discord. Then car number 23, that is Theo. Really good to see Theo back with us and racing. Stephen in possibly the brightest livery I've ever seen in my life. What I actually did mention when Stephen asked me, what do you think about this livery? And I said, it looks like the birth child of a chasing beaver and a green mamba.
Definitely. But I mean, that's green, Dylan. It seems to be a very popular green, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we've updated our website. We removed the old orange, and we have put the Lumo green in, just to spice it up and just to make it officially SARCO official colors. So,
100%.
Yeah.
Look, I love it, and a little bit of green and blue never hurts anybody. Oh, Stephen running a little bit wide. That's Ethan having a little look to the inside of him, which now puts him on the outside, specifically going out of left field. But Stephen managing to fend off that attack. Just want to jump a little bit further down the field. Oh, sorry, looks like Tyler, he's got himself a good start. He was a little bit further down. I see Dirkie's managed to get into the lobby, and he's down in 11th place. So he might have started from the pits, because he's 5.5 seconds off the rest of the pack here. But Rodrigo and Theo having an almighty battle. Ooh, what happened there? A little crackle of voice, saw the bronchitis coming out.
Yeah, once said the voice is breaking, I think you're well past that stage, but we'll forgive you there, Dylan. We know you've been feeling a little under the weather lately, and recovering from a serious dose of the bronchitis.
Indeed.
But yeah, a great battle up front here. Also, a battle of the manufacturers. We have Lexus, and I didn't catch, well, is that, yeah, that is a Honda in front. So the Hondas tonight seem to be actually dominating. We saw from the first race in the Alpha tiers how quick the Hondas were there. But we have a gentleman here in third position, and who is this? Is that Klaas?
No, that's Rodrigo. In third place is Rodrigo.
Rodriguez.
New driver that has joined us.
I'm totally lost there with these new drivers. I actually need to get a cheat sheet from you, please.
Look, I can send it on to you right away. If you have access to your email, let me send it. I've got all the drivers there, and I am more than happy to share it with you.
Well, as we were chatting there, I see Theo has moved into second place, and now he's challenging Chappie RSA.
That is Sheldon, new driver.
Another new driver, Sheldon. Welcome to SARCO.
And Sheldon has been putting up his pics of his rig made out of PVC pipes. So it's just awesome to see some of the creativity that we have in some of the construction of the rigs that the guys are using and racing with. And that is Theo starting to close up on the back of him. Car number 23, and I don't know what it is about that color scheme and that livery, but it definitely just reminds me of a wasp for some reason.
Kind of reminds me of the Free State Cheetahs. But,
Yo, so Theo, remember that's what Ashley said, not me. So if you're offended, please direct your info to Ashley at.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, the Cheetahs are not such a bad rugby side, but nevertheless, he's still giving a good chase on Chappie RSA. Sorry, is it Sheldon? Sheldon, that's correct.
So guys, please forgive us. I have mentioned this before, but when we get a new driver that joins us, and specifically on Project Cars, is not only do we learn the driver's name, we have to learn their PSN name. And if you're racing on Project Cars, we got to learn the 3 letters and remember what they stand for. So you 3-letter it into a PSN name, into an actual name. And it does take a little bit longer to get to know you. So every time we meet somebody, we learn your name 3 times.
Absolutely.
So
At least I know that driving shot at the moment is Marshall. And he's chasing Reeve out there in 5th position.
So yeah, currently see that Irish Dawn has gone into the pits, so very early for him. And just for your information, Ashley Irish Dawn, his name is Jean, as another new driver who's joined with the PW1 racing team. He's racing with Ethan, who's Senior Ghost.
That's excellent. It's good to see all the new faces and drivers out this evening, making up the numbers. And that's what we want, guys. And if you are interested and if you want to come in and join us, please check out our webpage, register, become a member, and you can come and join us on a Monday or Thursday night. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys. So yeah, up in front we got Theo chasing Sheldon.
Just check your inbox, you have a cheat sheet. My water bottle just spilled all over me. I'll have to get one of our new SARCO ones.
Yeah, I think it's time for a change, Dylan.
So just having a look further back, the SARCO inspired livery of Reeve starting to close up on the back of Tyler Scott. Reeve currently in his what a great move there by Reeve. It didn't look like Tyler even saw him coming up into turn number 13. Looked like Tyler might have got on the back of them, or was that just a little bit of lag there? But
yeah,
Reeve,
it looked like he got very close to the back of Reeve there, and almost looked like a touch there, but no damage done.
Reeve definitely got the line through turn number 13 absolutely perfect, and that just helped him on the brakes there into turn number 14, and he made it look very easy. Great maneuver there for Reeve. Then dropping a little bit further back, and we've seen Dirkie absolutely dominate and be right up there, knowing that he won our previous championship in the vintage cars, and here he struggled to qualify into the Alpha tier, and here he is running very wide, coming out of what is that? Out of Stowe. Apologies, out of Cops.
Yeah, look, this game is a total different beast compared to Project Cars. It's almost like learning a different language. I think the biggest challenge for me so far has been trying to feel the car, trying to get the settings of my steering wheel to the way I like it, and it's slowly getting there. But then the next step is now to set up and learn how to set up the car, and no matter how much you look up on the internet and advice you take, it's still completely different to what we've used to at Project Cars. Some guys have managed to pick it up straight away, and like the likes of Jake's, Jock, and they just seem to are natural at just the ability to learn the new game. But
well,
yeah,
Mal Jacques always talks about Jake's being, Jake's is my natural.
Absolutely. Some of these guys are just alien when it comes to these type of simulated games, and it doesn't really reflect anything on Durkee, but because we know how fast he is and how quick he is on the project cars. So I'm sure over a little bit of time, a little more practice, and you'll be up to speed.
Look, and it's also coming to terms with a new car. Is that in the Sunday League that we were racing, Durkee was in the Lexus, and he would be often fighting for positions higher up there. Now, moving from the Lexus into a Honda, it's a different driving style. So 100% it all depends on how quickly you adapt to that car, that driving style. But I'm pretty sure that what will happen is that as the guys get further and further into the championship and start feeling and understanding the car, it's definitely going to make things a lot more exciting. I just got a glimpse of the black and yellow, you know what it is, car of Tyler Scott, just going in the background there, and he hasn't quite let Reeve get away from him. So Tyler really fighting back quite substantially here in 6th place, trying to get Reeve down. And I must say, I'm actually almost anxious to say it, but in Project Cars, Reeve is probably one of the unluckiest drivers when it comes to our 5x5 or even in our Super 7 series, is that Reeve is always the driver that is stuck in the middle of the field, and he's always the driver that will either get bumped or shunted or just clipped. And I'm really, really hoping that Reeve is able to get himself a good, clean championship without any incidents, and he can actually just drive and enjoy a full race, let alone a season.
Yeah, we know he's had some bad luck, even within the Project Cars, narrowly missing out qualifying. But also a very strong driver. We saw him from previous seasons, how he's able to, with certain cars, keep up the pace with the front runners. And I think it just hasn't been his season. Maybe just lacking a bit of luck. But I'm sure we will see him up there shortly. I mean, Reeve was one of the guys who qualified, I think, top in the Bravo tier, if I'm not mistaken.
So Reeve missed the cut by 0.012 as an average of the total time. So 0.03 was the time that Reeve missed the cut to get himself into the Alpha tier.
Sure. So it just shows you, I mean, he's got the potential to be an Alpha tier driver, but I just think maybe he's just not having the luck this season, and that's showing, unfortunately.
So interesting enough, the two of the 5 Hondas, the 2 Hondas being driven by Sheldon and Theo, up in 1st and 2nd place, and it does look like Sheldon's just getting himself into a bit of a rhythm. He's now been able to open that 1.5 second over Theo in 2nd place, when Theo was right on his tail. So I think Sheldon is probably got a great smile on his face at this stage. Then we've got Rodrigo in 3rd. I know that he did say Rod, but when he registered, his name came up as Rodrigo. But I'm pretty sure that as the season goes on, he'll let us know what he wants to be called. And that is how we will refer to him going forward. So Tyler and Jean, both of them having taken the pits. So quite early on in this race, we still have 31 minutes at the beep beep to go.
You mentioned that Theo's just dropping off the pace. It is pretty difficult to follow a car closely around on this track. You do pick up a slight understeer, especially through the faster corners. I noticed I was getting a little bit of an understeer when I was following one of the drivers through there. So it might just be the fact that he's just holding back a bit, watching where Sheldon is weaker, and just learning where he can possibly overtake him towards the end of the race. So that's the kind of racing that I know Theo is very good at, racing with him in Project Cars. That's exactly what he likes to strategize. He likes to just learn the the guy in front of him, just see where he's slow, and then pounce at the first opportunity.
No, 100%.
And you can see there he's closed that gap now. If you maybe could just
Oh, there we go. So I wonder if that was an unforced error from a little touch of the grass there for Sheldon as he exits out of the, I keep wanting to say turn number 18, but that's not 18. As he came out of club.
Yeah, so he's on the back of Sheldon now, and he's going to try and apply a little more pressure, trying to maybe force him into a mistake.
So Ash, I just wanted to mention, just checking some of the comments on Facebook and the YouTube, guys. If you are there and you are still watching, drop us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think of this Bravo tier race so far. It looks like Theo has got a great drive coming out of that was so close, coming out of turn number 16. But now he might just have to drop down, but he's going to have a wider entry, which means he should be able to carry a little bit more speed coming out of turn number 18. But dropping in behind the race leader, going through a Woodcote. Now they'll cross the line. This is through Cops, a tricky corner. Dion was actually mentioning that what happened is that later on he started experiencing understeer, but as you start understeering, you're generating more and more heat into that tire, and all it does is it just starts creating more understeer and more understeer and more heat, and then so the cycle continues.
It's a cycle of understeer. So still out in front here we have Sheldon, who's closely followed by Theo in second position. Theo showing him, letting him know that he's right in his mirrors by moving out of the slipstream into the braking zone, and just showing him, hey, I'm here. I'm coming
it is
for you.
one of my favorite things to do. Is that
Absolutely, and it distracts you.
It's just move out, because then what happens is you get that thought, is he going to have a dive, is he going to go? At no point am I going to try and dive bomb, but I just want to just make you feel uncomfortable, because I'm sizing you up so that I can make a move on you later.
Yeah, some call it Mamba fever, but
well, everybody calls it Mamba fever. Do you know why, Ashley?
I don't know why.
Because it's a thing. So Ashley, you've got Greg, your number one hero. He's saying, hi Ash.
How's it, Greg? I'll see you tomorrow if you're up for it. I need to get my tires changed.
Greg, I just want to find out, did you get your cap from Ashley yet?
Of course he did.
Yes, I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
No, especially when we made a trip to his house to deliver it. So I think I should charge deliver my parcel an extra $60.
Well, that's deliver Greg's parcel.
Yeah.
So the point 3 is the gap between Sheldon and Theo, and both in the Hondas. Just want to have a quick scan. So 4 drivers currently are pitted, and Marshall currently the fastest of the pitted drivers, which I'm finding a little bit interesting there, Ashley, because I'm pretty sure that Tyler was ahead of Marshall, and it looks like Marshall has been able to get himself ahead. So when Reeve pits, is that, where will that put Reeve? Does it put him between Marshall and Tyler, or does that put Reeve ahead of Marshall? That's going to be one of the interesting things to look out for when we do start getting more and more pits done.
Yeah, and we heard from the Alpha tier race that if you're a little bit too cautious, you can lose a hell of a lot of time here. We saw our second place driver just make a mistake there in the pits and lost 8 seconds to Jakes, and I mean Jakes wasn't far behind him, but that is a huge gap to lose, and ultimately cost him the race.
There we go. Thank you, Greg. I got confirmation from the horse's mouth. Reeve, looking, that gap was about 6 seconds. I've been watching it. That's now dropped down to just over 4.5. So it looks like Reeve is now catching Ethan, and there's a confirmation. You can see that now down to 3.7 seconds. So that Nissen is definitely starting to move himself up the order.
The Nissan did feel stronger towards the end of the race, I must admit. It was actually a pleasure to drive. So we still got 24 minutes left, and Reeve still has to go into the pits, but he seems to be finding a good pace at the moment, which I'm sure is going to help him towards the end of the race. And you can see he's gone there into third position, and we see now
So
our
that's
new
Ethan.
guy,
Yeah, Ethan.
Ethan, yes, who's coming to the pits for his scheduled pit stop.
And man, oh man, these two out in front, I'm pretty sure that those nerves are just about shot, but who will have the biggest BMT and able to bring it home and take the first win? And just remember, guys, that due to all the load shedding irregularities that we've been experiencing, this is a reduced 7-race season, but we'll only count the top 6 points that are scored, just to help should guys get caught out with the load shedding.
Excellent, that might help me. I might actually be able to finish in the top 10.
Stop and go penalty for car number 74. So
my word,
that
that's
is
Ethan.
Ethan speeding on the way out. And what would happen is if your car is not in first gear, it will override the pit limiter. Oh, but Ethan just managing to catch it. Well caught there, son.
Yeah, that is most unfortunate, and that's going to completely ruin his race, and I'm sure he's now fuming at that mistake that he's made. And to make things worse, he's got traffic up ahead to try get past, and those guys are not going to make it easy. So Theo now back on the Sheldon's tail.
So here's
Still trying to
here's
get
a question
past.
for you.
For me,
If you were in Theo's position now, would it not make sense to just go and do a pit stop to get that clear air, or is the idea to put as much pressure on Sheldon as possible, hope he makes a mistake, and then get yourself ahead, then pit for that psychological advantage?
yeah, maybe try force the undercut and see if that helps. But I mean, it depends. He's going to put new tires on, or are they going to keep the same tires? Shucks, I don't even think it's going to make much of a difference. It's all depends how they approach their pit stop and how cleanly they get through that pit stop. I mean, one little mistake of either of these drivers, and that's it. They can lose quite a bit of time. But definitely, I see Theo is playing the long game, so anything's possible. Let's see how that pit stop goes.
So here's something very interesting, is we now have Durkee. Durkee is in 4th place. But not only is Durkee in 4th place, he is the highest ranked drivers of the guys who have pitted. So
Okay.
as it currently stands, Durkee is in 4th place, which is absolutely fantastic. It all depends on what that gap is once he goes past the split time, to see the difference between himself and Reeve. And 47 seconds is that gap. Ashley, do you know how long the pit stop was? Ooh, Durkee
For me,
taking
it
a
was like
lot
a
of
lifetime.
breaks there. Okay, so how long did you anticipate being in the pits for? Let me
Well,
rephrase your question.
Unfortunately, I had a bit of damage.
So Theo's coming in now, so let's just get a view.
Okay. So maybe this will give us a good answer. Because I actually had a little bit of damage, which they had to repair. So I mean, I was in the pits for a minute and a half. Well, stationary for a minute and a half. So
Oh, cameraman Tim got a bit confused there.
So when I came out, the leaders had already caught me.
Okay, so I see Reeve is also now heading into the pits. So there's 30 seconds, so let's see how long it takes him. So I'm just watching the time at the top because that was on 50 seconds. And where is Durkee in the lap? Ooh, that's not going to be enough time because this is now Durkee coming through left field.
Wow, he's made up quite a bit of time, man. That's insane. So he might be able to...
So here comes Theo. Reeve is out. So Theo, I mean, Durkee is just behind. You can see there 9 seconds. So he's now just going through Cop. So there is Theo and there is Durkee
in the background. So Durkee having a pretty strong race towards the mid of this.
Well, I'm so confused because now it looks like Reeve has managed to get himself ahead of Theo. Is that possible? Yes, it is. Look at that.
Wow.
That is incredible. And then so Theo 4 seconds between himself and Reeve, and just on about 4 seconds between Durkee and Theo. Guys, this race is still 100% on.
That's fantastic. It's good to see such close racing, and exactly what you spoke about early in the race with...
Here comes our race leader. So this is now Sheldon. Will he have enough time? No ways. Oh, yes, cameraman Tim. Honestly, dude. Sort out your crap there. Because that's Reeve now. He's now only going through turn number 15 now.
How did cameraman Tim get hired for Ace?
I don't understand, but he keeps coming back. So Sheldon's still in the pits. Here comes Reeve coming down towards Brooklands. So Sheldon is now away. Now out through turn number 18. So it does look like that Theo has made a huge mistake. 100%, because
you must have changed tires or something. That's all I can think that happened, or you put a bit of fuel in, because that is a huge gap there that he's lost out there.
Because now we have got Reeve up into second place, and just behind Reeve is Theo, which is 4 seconds. There he is in the background, but it's the gap between Reeve and our race leader. You can see that Sheldon's now going through Stowe, where Reeve is now just joining the hangar straight. So a massive gap between them. And Durkee up into 4th place. So great to see Durkee doing that, because he was way down in 10th in the qualifying, and he's been able to get those laps in and work himself back up the field. Really awesome to see.
No, it is. And he's just obviously finding his pace now in that car, getting to grips with it. As we mentioned earlier, he is a very strong driver, and we've seen him in Project Cars, and now he's showing us how it's done in Assetto Corsa.
So 16 minutes left of this race, guys. It has been really great. I'm absolutely very, very impressed with just the quality of driving. The guys have been really racing with their hearts on their sleeves, that's for sure. We saw an impressive overtake there by Reeve on Tyler, setting himself up through turn number 13 and then banging it on the inside, title of your sex tape, into turn number 14.
No, absolutely. So a good command lead at the moment that Sheldon has put out, and we see them in picture racing the Honda number 79. Yeah, and we spoke about that, what would happen, because there was really close on the back of Sheldon, and it definitely went down to the pit stop now. We can see that Theo is almost 20 seconds behind, I would say.
No, that's Reeve 26. Oh, yeah. So it looked like that Theo lost about 20 seconds. But Reeve is being caught by Theo because that gap was just about 5 seconds. It's now 4 seconds. It's now down to 2.8. So Theo is gaining on Reeve ahead of him.
Yeah, he's a man on a charge. He knows he made a mistake and he's trying to rectify it by pushing as hard as he can. But it's one thing to catch and another thing to pass.
Oh, 100%.
Especially the guy in front of you is driving a Nissan.
Easy. So a message here from Greg is saying, wow, hectic. The pit stops mashed things properly. And you're so right, Greg. And we saw it happening in the Alpha tier. It's now happened in the Bravo tier. And we just love having the pits because it just adds that other little level of unsurety for the drivers. And it can make or break a race. And I absolutely love it.
No, for sure. And that's exactly what we want in the season. And that's exactly why you have the pit stop, that mandatory pit stop. It just throws things up, it changes things up a bit and makes it a lot more exciting, that's for sure.
It's 13.5 minutes left. And currently we've got Theo now 1 second behind Reeve as Reeve battles to get that power down as he exits out of turn number 18. So they are across the start finish line now to begin their 15th lap. And 20 seconds is the gap between Reeve and Sheldon. But it is Theo who's on a charge. So then now they'll go through Maggots.
Yeah, I think this is where the Honda has got the upper advantage because that car just seems to sit so nicely through the corners. And he gets a good exit out the chicane there and onto the hanger straight. And you see Reeve goes a bit of defensive there. Let's see who will go into the corner, who's going to be late on the brakes.
That was a great move there by Theo.
Textbook move there.
Yeah, little flash of the lights. There's appreciation there from Reeve saying, well done, sir, you can have that place. He's not going to fight him. So great awareness there for Reeve and a great overtake there for Theo. And generally, you would look at cricket and we'll say there was a great ball, great fielding, great shot, great cricket around. Well, this is great driving around.
No, absolutely. That was a fantastic move there by Theo. But now his work's not done. He still has to catch Sheldon out in front. And with 11 or 12 minutes left on the clock, it's going to be
that's going to be a really tough ask there. So I just want to jump down to the Chasing Beaver / Green Mambas love child, because Stephen was about 0.7 when I checked the timing. And it does look like he has dropped down a little bit there, because I thought he might be putting some additional pressure on the back of Jean, but that hasn't happened, so maybe a little mistake there for Stephen, and he's now dropped further down.
So it looks like Ethan's also done that drive-through penalty for speeding in the pits, where he's down in 10th position at the moment.
So Greg just dropping a message there saying, Theo! I'm sure just appreciating that move. An absolute great one. And Peter Heidemann saying, great racing here. Pete, you're absolutely spot on there. And not a bad performance yourself. Between yourself, Dirkie and Brett. Freaking awesome racing, man. So I just want to jump to Tyler, because he's got Jean behind him, but I can't see the distance between Tyler and Marshall. Let's have a look at the map. Oh, that does look like it's just about half a lap, because we can see on the little map in the bottom there, We've got a Marshall car number 9. He's now just joined the hangar straight, so quite a substantial gap there between those two. And between Reeve and Theo, that gap now opening up to just over 1.5 seconds.
Oh, we see Reeve there getting onto.
Listen,
It's like getting, yeah, a little bit on the grass there. They get a little bit wide.
this
so they
is a Assetto Corsa. This isn't Project Cars. You touch the
Well, there was
curves
a
on
bit of-
Project Cars, and guess what? You're landing up on the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. But it looked like he just got a bit of dirt there, so saw a bit of puff of dust, and but doesn't seem to have hampered him too much. He's still circulating there pretty quickly at the front line in the 3rd position.
So
But
interesting
right behind
here.
him-
Sorry, actually, interestingly here, as I've just looked at the weather forecast, you can see that the clouds have come. So it is now running full overcast. The track temperature was about 36 degrees. It's now 30 degrees. So these conditions are going to start getting trickier and trickier for the drivers.
So we've got waving white flags there, which probably means that someone's gone off or there's a slower car in front. And I'm just watching that gap between Durkee and Reeve, and it's slowly but surely coming down.
And we see that Mr. Adrian Bond has joined us in a Lamborghini. I'm not sure how he got the ticket in there, Mr. Bond. This is the Japanese tour. Someone just sold you a dud.
Oh my word.
No, but look, in Adrian's defense is that he downloaded the game. We told him to jump in, and I'm pretty sure that this is not what he expected to be racing with us this evening. But great to see him arrive at the track. I do see that he is in the pits there. But good form there, Mr. Bond. So,
Maybe he's planning to do the safety car.
yeah, perhaps. Durkee, less than 4 seconds. Ooh, the guys have been running a little bit wide there, coming out of out of club. A very, very tricky corner that, and we saw that on Monday night. Some of the guys battling with that end corner. So let's just give Sheldon some of the.
Limelight.
I was going to say some of the. I lost the word completely. I was thinking coverage, broadcasting, and I'm like, no, those aren't the words I'm looking for. But there we go. Sheldon now crosses the line. He's starting his 18th lap. He does have Theo, car number 23 in a Honda, and it is 2 Hondas out in front, and lots of curbs being used there. And that is just the beauty of this game, is that you're able to do that. You're able to use the curbs like you would in real life.
Yeah, that's one of the things I definitely like about this game. And the penalties are quite lenient when you do go wide sometimes, which is nice. But look at that gap between Sheldon.
I was going to say 2.5 minutes between Durkee and Reeve. Reeve is going to start watching that mirror. Those times are going to start getting closer. This is going to be a cracker for that last spot on the podium.
Yeah, I was going to say that also Theo has managed to close 3 seconds on Sheldon, but yeah, unfortunately he's running out of time here.
Well, look, from here, this is Sheldon's race to lose.
Absolutely.
2 seconds is the gap between Reeve and Durkee. Oh my goodness.
So
Track
final
temperature
podium.
keeps dropping. You can see the track temperature now down to 29 degrees. So I wonder whether the Nissan is struggling and Durkee's just making those tires work a bit harder for it.
Quite possible. Quite possible.
5 minutes, so that's 3 laps is all that's left. And is 3 laps enough for Durkee to fight back and take this place from Reeve and get himself up onto the podium?
Well, I think Reeve will start seeing getting bigger and bigger in his mirrors, and we'll probably start turning up the taps as well. So you see that time hasn't really come down much now in this lap. It's now actually increased to 2.5 seconds as opposed to 2 seconds. So I think Reeve has now realized that if he wants that final podium, he's going to have to work for it.
So
I think that's exactly what he's doing.
Just jumping to Rodrigo. So he's 13 seconds behind the battle. So also a great drive here for him. Rodrigo driving out of Cape Town. Also his first season here with us. This is the first time we're actually seeing him racing, considering that we had all the wonderful challenges over the last couple of weeks. Down to less than 2 seconds. Where is Sheldon? Okay, so Sheldon's now exiting out of Stowe. He's now going down into the Vale. So there might be 2 laps plus this one. It all depends on how quickly he can get around. Otherwise, it will be this one plus 1 more. No, there should be 2 more laps to go.
Yeah, I reckon they should get 2 more laps, definitely.
So it does seem like it all depends on where they are on the track, because that was less than 2 seconds. It's now up to 2.5 seconds. So while Dirkie is pushing really hard, I think you're pretty right there, Ashley, is that Reeve has seen this little Honda getting bigger and bigger in his mirror and gone, no ways, not losing this podium. And he's just put his head down and started just hitting those braking points, turning points, acceleration points.
Yeah, that's the only way. Just keep your head down, don't look in your mirror too much, and focus what's in front of you. And it would appear that's exactly what he's done. It's 3.5 minutes left of this race. We have Sheldon out in front. We have Theo chasing very hard, but unfortunately not be able to close that gap in time. We have Reeve, who started further back in the field and has managed to work his way up, including Dirkie. We have Rodrigo, one of our new drivers, joining us in 5th position, followed by Marshall, who has had a pretty quiet race from a spectator point of view. So it's good to see him up in the 6th position.
Back and racing with us. We didn't see him last season, so really good. He wasn't in Cape Town for a couple of months, but he is now back, and it's good to see him racing with us.
Welcome back, Marshall. Tyler in 7th position, and at one stage he was looking quite strong, and perhaps also had a problem in the pits and lost a bit of time there.
Yeah, remember he was battling it out with Reeve earlier on. So Reeve should be. Tyler should be a little bit higher up the order here.
In 8th position, we have my nemesis. Just joking.
Steven, you can find Ashley at Ashley Ads.
My bumper car companion there, trying to break my ribs in the virtual world, but sorry, Steven. Doing a good job in 8th. And Irish Dawn, we saw him much further down the field early in the race, so he's managed to work his way up into 9th position. So good recovery there. Ethan, we saw that unfortunate stop and go penalty for speeding in the pits. He was looking pretty strong in the beginning of this race, and unfortunately that penalty has put him way back at the back of the grid. Whoa, is that Robert?
Robert, a little flying Nissan there. I didn't know that they could fly.
Yeah. And we've seen Robert's performance in the project cars. What are you going for?
Because Dirkie,
oh my word,
is off. Has Dirkie run out of fuel?
It looks like he has retired. That is most unfortunate, because he was looking at a possible podium here, and
I think Dirkie has possibly run out of fuel.
I wonder if he got his fuel measurements from Jake's.
Sorry, my Jakes. Didn't mean to laugh. Well, I thought I was laughing inside, but clearly not. So guys, the reason we'd say that is because there's been 2 races where we've asked Jakes how much fuel. He set the amount of fuel but still run out of fuel. Sorry my Jakes. I'm pretty sure that that's what's happened, is that Dirkie's run out of fuel, because it doesn't look like there's any damage on his car or any of the other cars that were around him.
Yeah.
Mr. Bond, we saw you jump in the lobby just for a moment with a Lamborghini. Did somebody sell you a dud? Because remember, this is the Japanese tour there, sir.
Maybe just wanted to watch a race.
Yeah, well, he's definitely showing some beer signs there for... Tyler's up into... Okay, I'll say Tyler's up into 5th. But that's because we've now got Dirkie retired in the pits. Man, oh man. So here we have your race leader now coming out of the last corner for the last time. Take a bow, that man. Sheldon crosses the line in 1st place, followed by Theo in 2nd. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that. He did manage to close up a good couple of seconds, so we'll just have to ask him what had happened there. 8 seconds he made up there. Reeve, and we spoke about how unfortunate he has been, and here he is getting himself on the podium. Well done, Reeve.
Reeve,
3rd place there for him. We then have Rodrigo, his first time, just missing out on the podium there by 1 place, but a very convincing 4th place there. Worked his way up nice and easily through there. Tyler's also in the pits.
So
I'm so confused. What is going on here? Does that mean Tyler... Okay, hold on.
It doesn't look like he's crossed the line. Unless he forgot to pit.
I honestly think that... No, all the pits were done. So there goes Dirkie. So Dirkie's on track. So I think what's happened is that he retired to pits, changed his fuel, had to wait in the pits so that he could put fuel in, reset the setup, and then carried on driving. So I don't know how this is going to change the final result. We're definitely going to have to wait and see.
Is that Marshall now?
That's...
Surely Marshall's finished. Yeah.
No, but it hasn't said that he's crossed the start-finish line. Because it's putting Steven in 5th place. What is going on here? Look, Steven's in 5th.
So maybe they all got their measurements, the fuel measurements incorrect, and they've run out of fuel in the last couple of laps. That's the only thing I can think of.
Unless they thought they were only going to do 21 laps due to a practice. And then you've got Sheldon, who's done an absolutely sterling job and did the same amount of laps as the Alpha tier. And they were a lap short. So there's Steven. He's got himself into 5th place. Jean is in 6th place. Tyler is in the pit, so he hasn't crossed the line. Marshall hasn't crossed the line. We've got Senior Ghost in 9th place. Robert in 10th. And Dirkie down in 11th place. So we're going to have to see what actually happens with the final standings, because this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, at least we know who the top 6 are at the moment. You look at Irish Dawn, he's up into 6th position. So a fantastic result there for him. And all he had to do was just keep it on the track and make sure he had enough fuel. And yeah, even Steven getting a 5th place there. So well done to Steven. But who would say...
Well, there we go.
Yeah, who would you say is your driver of the day, Dylan?
So I must say that I'll definitely... Look, the reality, Sheldon led from the beginning and he held it out there. He went through all the pit stops, so I'd have to give it to Sheldon just from a great result out in front. Ash, I don't know if you can just invite Reeve, Theo and Sheldon into the Discord. Let me just cancel not what I wanted to do. Let's just swap that around, stop that stream. So guys, an absolutely crazy end of the race there. We're still going to have to figure out where the guys essentially ended up. And that's purely because we don't know. We don't know whether the guys had run out of fuel or not, because technically that they were still racing. It did show that they had pitted, but they hadn't crossed the finish line. So it hadn't classified them in those positions yet. So we will have to definitely wait and see. Let's just get... Okay, we can hear the Discord is going absolutely ballistic in my ears. I'm sure you can hear that as well. And man, oh man. Just checking the comments there. Yeah, Peter Heidemann saying when you return to the garage, you're locked for 2 minutes. And Pete, I do agree with you. I'm pretty sure that those incidents were fuel related. But that's essentially 3 drivers running out of fuel.
Shame it.
It's almost unheard of.
Yeah. No comments.
Hello, I'm Theo. It was just push your button there. You're unfortunately on mute.
Is that the one?
That's the one. That's the one.
Evening,
gents, evening.
Hi there, Sheldon. How's it? Welcome.
Thank you.
We're just going to get Reeve in and then we can get going.
Don't smoke. Stop smoking.
So luckily one fears that I don't smoke, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's bad for you.
Okay, I'm not too sure if Reeve is going to be joining us. So Theo, let's start with you. A great race, working your way through the midfield at the start, getting yourself behind Sheldon and starting to apply that pressure, but just not enough to fight for the lead. Going into the pits, and there seems to have been something that had happened there where it looked like you had lost about 20 seconds.
Yeah, I did. I've hit a wall on a pit entry. And I've decided, you know what I'm going to do. I don't want to get too much tire wear trying to catch up. And if I do, I'm going to get second place in any case. And then I'm going to fight for third. Maybe I'll end up getting third place.
Yeah.
So I've made a decision rather just to fix it. It just did cost me time. But I managed to overtake
Reeve.
Second. Yeah, I managed to overtake him quite easily because everything on my car was fresh, tires, fuel, everything was 100%. But yeah, in the beginning it was nice. It was lucky. It was a lucky fight. It was close places where I was a little bit faster. He was a little bit faster. He made a small mistake. I made a small mistake. But you know what? Congratulations to Chappie. He's done it very, very well.
No, awesome. I can't agree with you more there, Theo. And Theo, we actually got that overtake on the stream, going down the hangar straight, moved to the outside, went around Reeve on the outside, and we could see him giving a little flash of the lights as an appreciation to say what a great move and what a great way to move yourself back up into second place. Very well driven.
No, thank you. It's awesome, and thank you for you guys letting me in this.
100%. Sheldon, let's go to you. Start from the beginning in pole position and then led from the start. Lots of pressure from behind, but slowly but surely it looked like you found your rhythm and just started easing yourself away from Theo, and it ended up bringing it home pretty easily in the end there.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised with pole position, but I knew if I was in the top 3, that I probably had the pace. The Honda, I think it takes a couple of laps to get your rhythm going. And Theo gave me quite a run for that first half of the race. Yeah, it was a great experience.
No, awesome. It was really great to see you, and welcome to SARCO and your debut race. I know that this was the third time lucky to get an actual race going, and here you go and you stick yourself right on the top on the podium. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
No, really, really awesome. Ash, I don't know if you have been able to get hold of Reeve at all.
I did put a message on the Discord, and obviously he hasn't read it.
Okay, cool.
So sorry, I don't think he'll be joining us.
No, 100%. So Reeve, to yourself, a great drive there for you. And wanted to just commend you on A, finishing a race, and then B, putting yourself on the podium. We understand some of the challenges that you've had in Project Cars, and it's really great to see you now fighting up at the top here in the Bravo tier, and a well-deserved third place there for you, Reeve. Absolutely awesome. To Theo and Sheldon, thanks so much, guys, for a great show. Really, really awesome to see. Great racing. And as the members of SARCO, we couldn't be prouder to watch some great racing. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
So to everyone, don't forget that this championship is probably brought to you by a CT Auto Electrical once again. We will try and get Craig in next week so we can have a chat to him. But guys, all I can say is thank you very much to CT Auto. Thank you so much, Ashley, for jumping into the commentary box with me for the second race. It's always nice to be able to talk to someone. To Rodrigo for visiting with us in the Discord, thank you so much. You're always more than welcome to come and say how's it. So how's it?
Yeah.
So
hey guys, if you want to... Sorry,
go. No, you go, because it gives me time just to change some stuff here quickly.
Excellent. So guys, if you want to get involved, if you want to come check us out, please visit our website, sarcoracing.co.za. You can also check us out on Facebook. You can watch our races live on YouTube. We would like to see you come and join us. Also, if you would like to get some merchandise, we have...
That's what I haven't been doing.
We've got a cap, awesome cap. We have a nice a COVID mask that you could protect yourself with, which will make you much faster from getting from A to B in the car as well.
100%. And it is double layered, and it is extremely breathable. If my wife wears it, you know that it's good.
Excellent. So yeah, please guys, come and support us, and yeah, we look forward to seeing you soon.
Awesome. Ashley, thank you so much, and until Monday night, guys, all I can say is thank you very much for joining us. We always do appreciate the comments, and we see a little message here from Ethan saying my TV went off when he went into the pits. Like, what the heck? No. There's just been so many weird things happening with this race this evening. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you on Monday night once again. So all I can say is good night, Ashley, and guys, until then, keep racing, and thanks for watching.
Cheers, guys.